Hello, welcome back to Mimi's house. And this evening we're going to make a special candy that my mama taught me to make when I was a little thing, and I love it, and my kids love it, and now my grandkids love it, and so we're going to make it, and it's called peanut brittle. And being from the South, we're in an area that have a lot of peanut farmers, so we got really fresh peanuts. So in this one, we're going to need sugar, water, corn syrup, which is the white syrup, clear syrup, and peanuts and butter. And so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to put the sugar in first. I always like to do that. And it calls for 1.5 cups of sugar in my pan. And then I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of water, and then a 1/2 cup of Karo syrup. And I had my pan get a little warm, so it's already going. And we're stirring that all in there. And it'll dissolve in, and all the sugar will melt into the water and the Karo syrup. Doing that. Get all that goodness out of there, that sugar and syrup. Excuse me. Let me see. Got to get something out. And baking soda, that's something else that we need to have. Okay, we're going to stir this, going to turn it up high, and we're going to cook it until it gets to streaming. And that's a term when it starts threading. You'll see it when it cooks so hard, and it's a little past the hard ball stage, because we want it to be brittle and crisp. And so that's what, when you're making candy, you cook it that hard. So it's stirring it now. Cut that down a little bit lower. I don't know if you can hear me good. So we're just dissolving all that sugar into the pan. Let me move this so you can see. It's just a skillet, and it's mine is a cast iron skillet that's been coated, ceramic coated, and I found that this is real good to make it in. And while that's getting hot, I'll show you what I did to my board. You're going to pour it out onto a board when it's really hot, and so I've already lined it with foil and put butter on it. And another little tidbit, when you're pouring it out, you don't want to spread it after it's poured out. Wherever it pours, you need to leave it. You might tilt your board some, but don't ever take a utensil and spread it out. I'll probably call my husband in here, Papa, Mr. Rick, when it gets to that point, and because this is kind of heavy, and he starts at one end and he pours it, so we might get some help from him. I also need a 1/2 stick of butter, and that's going to go in later after we put in the peanuts. I was telling you, I'm from South Georgia, and we had peanut fields there. And from the time I was little, you go out, the farmers give you peanuts, and you go out there, and you'd get them from the ground and shake them, and you bring them back to the house, and you'd pick the peanuts off of them, because they're like in the roots. That's where a peanut comes. It's in the bottom of a plant in the roots, attached to the roots. And so we would pick them, and then we'd put raw peanuts into this and cook them. But I don't live in South Georgia anymore, and there's not any peanut farmers near me. So I've started using just canned peanuts, and they work just fine. They're really good. And another thing you can do, you can make them with pecans or pecans, however you want to say it. And that's really good too. We've got a good boil going here, and the way to see if it's threading yet, you hold it up, and it'll start showing little hairs on it. It's not quite there, but it's almost ready. Just let it keep cooking a little bit, and you see how it's falling down. And when it starts to cooling off, it's just about to the herring stage, so we'll keep that on there. We've also, before, my mom has put coconut in it, and people like that, to put a little coconut in their peanut brittle or pecan brittle. When I was little, I didn't like coconut. It felt, oh, I don't know. I didn't like the texture of it. Felt like you had almost hairs or something in things. But now as I've gotten older, well, for years I've liked it. Coconut cake and anything like that, I like it now. So we're just waiting, being patient, waiting for this to get hot enough. Let it go. Waiting. It's almost there, because you see that stage? That's the softball stage. It's like little balls form, and it's really, really soft. So we want it to the hard stage, hardball stage. And we're almost there. Stir. It's bubbling. It's really white. Oh, it's there, just about there. It's herring, beginning to hair. And then when we get it to that stage, I'm going to add the peanuts, and it cooks a little bit longer. And right now, if you looked in here, it would be clear, like a clear syrup, just almost like this. But you know, peanut brittle has a brown tint. So once we put those nuts in there, it's going to brown. And then we're going to put, when it goes to a golden brown with the peanuts, then we're going to add the butter and mix it in good. And the last thing we do is pour in the, I can't remember how much it is, a teaspoon of soda, baking soda. So it's not much at all. And it kind of foams, and it gets it the light and airy, airiness that you like with it. It puts air bubbles in the peanut brittle. And today I have Braden, my grandson. He's still filming for me, so good. And this is one of his favorites, I think. Oh, it's a favorite, he says. So I'm going to get that ready to put in there. Because once it comes together, it happens so fast. Let's check this. See how it's showing hairs? You can see the hairs. Can you bring the camera? Is there any way to bring it up close so they can see? Just hold it up here, maybe. I don't know. Because I'm afraid if I take it off the heat, it's not going to do as well. That's all right. And you'll see it starts forming hairs, and it's like little hairs flying. See them flying? See, there's one here. See it flying off? Kind of like cotton candy. You know, when you heat up sugar, that's something that happens to it. You can see a lot more here. Let me stop back. It's just kind of going up into the fan because I have the fan on. But you see it. So that's herring. So we're going to put the peanuts in. 2 cups of peanuts, and we're going to stir it around. And we're wanting it to get a brown color. See, it's still the white color, but it won't take long, and it'll turn to brown. And then we'll add the butter and then the baking soda, and then we'll pour it out onto the board. Let it sit just a few minutes. So it'll brown a little quicker, I think, if it sits a while. So you can see around here it's getting a light color brown to it. We might want to stop and let it when it starts to get brown and then do it, Braden. Would that be okay? Yeah. Okay. We'll be right back to you when it gets brown again, okay? Okay, I want you to look and see how brown it's getting. It's getting a golden brown. So I'm going to go ahead and put my half a stick of butter in there and let it do its thing. There it goes. We'll put that in there. Ooh, that brown goodness is everywhere. Papa, you think you can come and do this? Put this in it. This is your baking soda. And you'll see how it foams up. It gives it a different texture. It's going to a different color. And we're going to put it right, move this right, and go back over there. And this is Papa, my sweetie, for 40-some years. And we're got this done, and we're ready take it. And so we've got it on the grease sheet. It starts at one end and goes to the other. Oh, it smells so good. And like I said, you don't want to stir it, but you can kind of let it go like this and move the board and manipulate it so it'll spread if it's gotten thick in any area. And that needs to sit until it's completely cool, and then we'll break it up and we'll be back to show you peanut brittle later. That's a big old pan of peanut brittle. We're going to let it cool overnight and break it up, and we'll get back to you for the taste test tomorrow. Have a good one. Love y'all. Okay, are y'all ready for this? We're back with that peanut brittle, and just look how good it turned out. And to break it up, I just take a wooden spoon, and I pick it up, and I hit the bottom of it, and it just breaks into pieces, whatever size pieces you want. Just go ahead and break it up, and then put it in an airtight container. And that's just my grandson Charlie back there. Just don't pay attention to him. And it just breaks up into what size pieces you want, and it's good for gift giving, it's good for sharing with your family, and it's good for sweet, sweet things. Thanks a lot for joining us. We love you. And you know, remember Braden said that's his favorite thing that I made is for sweets at Christmas. And here's Braden. I thank him for doing all the camera behind the scenes. Taste it. Let's see what it tastes like, Braden. He's been wanting it.
Just like I remember.
Just like you remember. That's good. Well, we love y'all, and have a good night and Merry Christmas.